Welcome to Tips Over Tea. This is season 2. I am so thrilled to have the opportunity to have great conversations with some amazing people. And I have the opportunity to hang out with you guys again, my guests. Make sure you have your tea, whether it be hot or cold, for the Tips Over Tea. And make sure you have your notebook so you can take plenty of notes. And if you're so inclined, bring a friend or two to join you. For now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Tips Over Tea. I am thrilled to welcome Herbert back to Tips Over Tea Season 2 this time, and just to learn from this wise young man. Herbert, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. It's always an honor to be in your presence and to connect with your wisdom, your insights into things, both of the heart, things of the universe, and things in the flow of things for us.
Thank you. Thank you. So we were talking about, for you, lessons learned after 7 turns around the sun. I would love, let's just start there. Like, what is one of the lessons you would like to share and delve into, and then we can just go from there, see where it goes.
One of the biggest lessons I've learned is to take the breath. When situations arise, don't let your frustration or don't let your anger be a catalyst to send you down a wrong path. If you simply stop what you're doing and you take a breath in from the lower dantian, hold it for a fraction of a second or a couple of seconds, and then release it, it gives your mind a chance to connect with whatever the issue is and to settle you down, and also to allow the head brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain to connect in unity.
I love it. So explain what lower dantian is for those who are not familiar with Tai Chi and Qigong.
Yes, the lower dantian is 1 inch below your belly button, and it's considered to be the energy or the battery center of the body.
And so taking a deep breath when your emotions are running high, depending on, no matter what emotion it is, it could be sadness, anger, frustration, taking a deep breath from right below your belly.
Bring it up into your lungs, hold it, and you can release through your mouth or you can release through your nose, whichever you prefer.
Got it. I agree. There's a lot of studies that show that changes your whole physiology. So I love that. And by physiology, I just mean like the chemical makeup in your body so that you can get into, like you said, head brain, heart brain,
Gut brain.
gut brain.
They all work together.
Yeah. What's something else that comes to mind for you?
Another thing that comes to mind is even if you're not in someone's physical presence, have friends, have acquaintances always in your life. That way you're never alone. You might live alone in your place, but you really aren't alone because we are all energy beings. I can send energy to you, Nicole, and you can send energy to me. If you intentionally send it to me, or if you ask for permission before you send it to me, that's the preferable way, is to ask for permission before you start sending energy. But we actually can experience each other on a spiritual level if we have the knowledge and we're mindful that, well, I can talk to Nicole now. I was thinking about you. I was thinking about you on my way back from Costa Rica, and I got a message from you. Like, would you like to be on the show? Again, I was like, of course I would.
I love that. Why is that a point that sticks out in your mind for ones who are like, especially, you know, the younger population, they really may or may not understand like the power of that connection as far as mental, physical health and all that. So share a little bit more about why that's important to you.
I think if you're alone, or if you cut people out of your life, I think you can mentally go into a state of depression, or you can go into a state of like scaredness or like schizophrenia. You can start feeling as though everyone's out to get you because you're not engaging in healthy social activities. I've got many different sources where I can tap into. I've got my fraternity brothers, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. So I got lots of brothers. They were just down in Tampa. We had our conclave down there. I didn't go. But, however, I was able to send texts and still communicate with them. We have local chapters in Newark, Delaware, and also all around the world in different cities. I've got my family members. I've got my BSE, as I call her, my best sister ever. I've got 6 sisters, but one is the BSE. And I know I can call her on anything, call her about anything. I know she's going to tap in and ask me how I'm doing. It doesn't matter. You know, she'll just give me a call and say, how are you doing? Like, what are you up to? Because I haven't chatted with you in a while. So I know we're feeling each other on that energetic level too.
Yeah.
I don't think it's great to be estranged from your children. So I talk to my son and my daughter. My daughter probably 3-4 times a week. I talk to my son probably twice a week. So we're always chatting. We've got this. There's a rule. If you're going to travel, you have to send out a text at least to tell where you're going, how long you're going to be there, when you're coming back. When you get on the plane and when you're coming back and when you're there. Figure out a way to just send some type of communique because the world is a big place. And we need to stay in touch. And then I've got you, I have a beautiful being in my life that I can tap into. I'm part of the Wellness Warrior Collective. Every morning at 7:50 in the morning, we talk about self-love. We express self-love. What am I proud of? What am I grateful for? What I desire and what I love about me. If I love me, I can love you. And so it's important to have those dialogues because we're not the only people who are going through trials and tribulations or also going through successes. You know, we get to share those with each other. And I just think we are human beings. We're spiritual beings in the human body. So it pays not to be isolated. Unless you want to be a monk or something, but even monks aren't totally isolated because they've got their brothers or sisters.
Very true. And I always remind people of a study. There are studies that show even if you don't have the best diet, making sure you have a supportive network, people have lived longer with a supportive network than they have with like a really, really good diet and no supportive network. So
that's awesome. You bring that up because that reminds me of all of the blue zones. Wherever the blue zones exist in the world, they've got that community, they've got the network, and they have a belief in higher power.
Yeah. By the way, I think, what did I say? 7 turns around the sun. I meant 7 decades. It could be 7. I don't know.
I feel like I'm 7 sometimes. I went to a yoga festival last year and I was dancing like I was a 7-year-old. I was dancing like I just didn't care. And it felt great.
Good.
You know, at 70 years old, I was dancing like a kid, just letting it all out. And got a chance to attend a Qigong, uh, workshop. And I was moving, and the instructors walked over and whispered in my ear, "Oh, you know a lot." And then they asked me how did they do at the end of the session. So I thought that was very, it was a beauty in it, because I've been taught to be humble no matter whose class you're in or who you're around.
Yeah.
And so I was calling out the moves to the people within my little circle.
Yeah.
And a couple of the ladies responded later, "I'm glad you were there, because you were telling us exactly what to do." So that was fun.
I love that. That actually could be another point, right? Is that, well, several things in there, like moving your body, having fun. And also, for those who have not caught the first time he appeared on the show a couple of years ago, Herbert teaches Tai Chi and Qigong. He's a master at it. So that's how we ended up here. But what tip would you like to share, taking away from those experiences?
Which one? The Tai Chi Qigong, or
all of it? Because I like a couple of tips came to mind from me just with you saying that, just like moving and having fun. And so I should say, what would be your next tip?
Well, my next takeaway would be from positive intelligence. You know, and I'm a stickler.
Yeah.
I can talk to everybody. I've never met a stranger, so I can talk to any and everybody in the world. That's just who I am. When it comes to certain aspects of my social media stuff, I got so much stuff, content. I get stuck. Like, I want it to be perfect, but my good is like, it's excellent. And I've learned how, I had to learn how to like push it down. Just like if I was doing the Qigong, I would bring the energy up. When I feel that stickler mode, you know, trying to be the perfectionist, I'll have to bring the energy up, bring it up from the lower dantian, take the breath and push it down, and then say, "Okay, Herb, you can do it. Just go ahead." What's the worst that's going to happen? Somebody might just say, "Guess what? It's great." So just to talk to anyone who's listening to this, last week I actually created 6-seated Qigong Tai Chi, sort of Qigong Tai Chi like practices that you could implement, and 3 standing. And I actually went public with those on YouTube.
Yay.
Yeah, so I opened up the box, and I pulled back the curtain, and I just put it on YouTube. I go, people need it, because people always ask me, "Can you just do this? Can you do that?" Like, when are you gonna give us like a 15-minute lunch at work? They're saying, "When can you give me a 15-minute lunch and learn?" And to people who are online, I don't normally call it work. I call it like being in the matrix. I have a reason for why saying that, and I'll tell you in a minute. The plan is to, by August 15th, to actually do a 15-minute lunch and learn at least 3 times a week for my water infrastructure group. Just because, just get it out there. And the other thing I've learned from the Qigong, I've learned that every Qigong method that you use, if you want to call them method, or the brocades, or 8 brocades, affects different parts of the body. It affects not only your organs, but the fascia, the joints, and also the connective tissue, and along with your muscles. It has healing power, and it's medication and meditation at the same time.
Mm.
I've learned that about my body. I could barely lift my leg up and do a 6-inch heel kick.
Mm.
And now I can lift my leg and I can make my leg parallel to the ground. Uh, you know, hey, at 7 decades around the sun, you know, I
That's
mean,
pretty good.
you know, my balance is very good. I can catch myself maybe almost, well, walking is like falling. When we walk, we're falling.
Mm.
We're constantly falling. Uh, I have the ability, if I stumble, to catch and correct before bad things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So with Qigong, I would say uh, it's a good practice for your mind. It
Mm-hmm.
keeps you centered. Uh, it reduces stress and it heals the body. On the Tai Chi part of the my practice, it gets you moving.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've got an smartwatch or device, put the device into Tai Chi mode when you're doing Tai Chi, and see how many calories you'll burn, and look at your heartbeats per minute.
Mm-hmm.
You'll notice it'll go up. My heartbeat is around 119 when I'm doing Tai Chi, 119 to 120.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not resting. It's not any means resting.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm on the treadmill, I get my heart rate up to about 136 for half of my walk. So my walk isn't a just slow walk. It's a pretty fast it's a pretty fast walk. And I do that for an hour. And sometimes even when I'm there, I have to remember to work with my breath
Mm-hmm.
so I stay in sync with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tai Chi Qigong is my way of life. It's something I've been playing for 16 years, and it's something I'm going to continue to do for the rest of this existence
Mm-hmm.
in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And the next world, I'm sure I will pick up that modality too.
Mm-hmm. And what I appreciate about it is it's a gentle form of movement, right? You're
Yes.
not like overexerting yourself or anything like that. So it's definitely good for someone who one can't put in that type of effort. And then of course as we age and we're able to do less of that high impact type stuff, this is still an effective way to, stay in shape and stay healthy.
And to stay healthy in so many different levels.
Yeah.
Next weekend, I get to participate in a workshop by a new Tai Chi master that I've got.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually coming from Costa Rica, and this particular master is teaching us the martial. He's expanding my martial art applications with all the moves.
Mm-hmm.
So he's teaching us how to be so soft that if you bring energy in, we can repel you like jujitsu.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my visions is to teach Tai Chi as self-defense, particularly to women.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need the power. You have the power.
Just know how to use it.
Just need to show you how to use it to be soft. And we're not talking about being soft like being weak. We're
Right.
talking about being soft in that you can move your body and you can deflect the energy, and people just go flying because they're trying to come in so hard.
Mm-hmm.
You and they
Use their momentum against them.
yeah. Why not? I mean, this has been taught over thousands of years to people.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else would you say is a good takeaway after 7 decades around the sun?
I've never ever met a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember I can be in New York
Mm-hmm.
with my son. The first thing he's trying to do is query me. Dad, you can't, you can't. First thing he will use the negative not. He'll use the not.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just talk to people like that. This is not California.
Mm-hmm.
This is not Delaware. Why not? Or I say, why?
Mm-hmm.
Let me take the not out. Why? Dad, people here aren't like other people. I said, they're like everybody else in the world. It's brought me a lot of wonderful things because I'm non-threatening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not threatening. I'm not trying to pick you up. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just having a conversation. And sometimes that conversation leads to, oh, you're a health coach.
Mm-hmm.
You're a health and wellness coach. Ah, well, I was just diagnosed with um, um, pre-diabetes. Okay, I can probably help you.
Mm-hmm.
Some form or another, you know, get you to the gym,
Mm-hmm.
work with you a little bit more on your nutrition,
Mm-hmm.
and changing your mindset. One thing I want people to do more than anything, if they're diabetic or pre-diabetic, is to, you know, you need to find your crew,
Mm-hmm.
find your, you know, find your support system.
Mm-hmm.
A support system, then you can easily navigate, and you can totally reverse pre-diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
And some people who are diabetic can totally reverse that situation.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely helps to have a support group for that, because a lot of times, and you mentioned also change your mindset. A lot of times people feel like I have to give up stuff that I love doing or love having or whatever. And that mindset keeps them where they are instead of realizing the things that they're releasing or letting go. They'll feel better. And
Right.
sometimes it's a, if you don't have that context, like if you never really felt what it normally feels like when you're not in this state, if you never really thought about it, then it can be easy to stay with what you know or what you're familiar with. I mean, we're naturally designed that way anyway. So trying to get us out of that can be challenging. So yes, a good support system is very helpful with that. I've dealt with that with clients too. Like the home life, like there was nobody at home helping them, and I was their support system. So
Right.
yeah, go ahead.
It's important for us to take care of the planet.
Yeah.
I, I've got I live in an apartment, and I'm a veteran. I could buy a house like right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already pre-qualified to buy a house or a place.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Congratulations.
like, what's holding you back, Herbert? Well, it's not a matter of holding me back. It's deciding, do I want to buy or do I have other plans?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've got a vision of living abroad.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a vision of living in somewhere like Costa Rica, somewhere that's more natural, more holistic, growing pineapples, bananas, plantains, coconuts, apples in your yard.
Mm-hmm.
That's a beautiful place to be.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, you don't hear sirens, you don't hear a lot of traffic. You hear the natural sounds like the waterfalls and the creeks and uh, the birds and the monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
I like that serenity.
Mm-hmm.
I like that the calm. Uh, by the way, you can have a satellite hookup too, so you can record you can record while you're there. You don't have to be in America to do your recording. You can be anywhere in the world, especially in a place like that, and really enjoy that pura vida life, the real I didn't go there. I didn't go to Costa Rica to zip line or to jump off cliffs into water, because I've done that before in other places of the world. I wanted to know what that phrase meant. I wanted to experience it. So I sat in the hot river. It's against the law to play music. And the humans have taken rocks out of the river and made almost like jacuzzi areas throughout the river. And just to sit there, and the monkeys and the birds, and just hearing the rush of the water, and you're sitting there with friends just talking and chatting. It and you definitely felt a difference when in the water, because you could feel the energy flowing through your body from the minerals, and just from the chi, if I might call it, of the river coming from the volcano. That to me was a beautiful place to be. And the audience don't know it, but I'm gonna tell them now. Before I went on that trip, I had this excruciating pain where I didn't think I would be able to go on the trip. And I had to take my cane with me, and I had to be driven to some places. I had to be escorted places. I had to be helped because I was in that much pain. But the third day I was there, I had talked to our local Turisto. And he said, man, that's a Tai Chi symbol that you got on your shirt. He said, that's a Tai Chi symbol at that guy's booth over there. I go over, and this guy is an acupuncturist. He's a Tai Chi master, and he's a chiropractor. So I get there, and he does like a free, like, hey, let me check you out. Let me see what's going on with you. And he told me what was happening for $50. He took me in the back and gave me treatment, and everything was better. When you connect with source energy, when you manifest, it travels with you, is with you, it's in you. And it's a beautiful thing to know and to have.
Yeah, that's really cool. You attracted that to you, basically, because of the vibration you were at. So I love that.
Yeah, with all the books you've read, connected with, and in my Wellness Warrior group, we've got a book club, and we were doing the book we were reading was The Law of Attraction. And Michael Logier actually came to our first book reading, and then he took over the book club.
Oh, wow.
He took us through the entire book.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I mean, he just sort of blew our minds. Like, he said, Law of Attraction is like pizza. And everybody's thinking, well, pizza, what do you mean? He said, when you want a pizza, you plan to order a pizza, you already know what the toppings are going to be. You already can taste it. You already know exactly what you want. So then you order the pizza. He said, and once you order the pizza, once it comes, you're in anticipation of enjoying that pizza. And he said, that's what the Law of Attraction is all about. So you need to start manifesting it, thinking it, bringing it to life, so that it'll come to you.
I love it. Absolutely. It's already been 28 minutes.
I know.
I don't know how that happened. But any last thoughts or anything that you would like for the audience to take away? And of course, your information will be in the description as well, but you can go ahead and share that. If you got any workshops you're going to be doing live or anything like that, please do share.
Yeah, I think one thing that comes to mind is I've always been a fan of Dr. Wayne Dyer. I've read quite a few of his works, and I go on YouTube and I listen to his stuff all the time. And one of the phrases I always like is, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Yeah.
And I now take a step back at certain situations, and before I open my mouth, I take the breath and I listen to my inner self. I make sure the three brains are talking together. Then I provide a statement or I make a move. And I think we rush into things too fast at times. And the next thing I would say, respect people. Respect people. I mean, we're just spirit beings in a human body, and we can get led astray by certain energy. I operate on high frequency energy, on love. That is the energy, and operating on anything else pulls you down, and it sort of manifests and causes trouble in your life.
Yeah, that could be a whole other conversation. We'll have to bring you back and we could talk about that.
Yes, I was most impressed with the number of hits we got from our first, the number of views we got from our first. I go, oh my God. Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because you're like that.
No, I receive it. Thank you. As are you. It takes one to know one. Awesome. Well, thank you, Herbert. It's, as always, been a pleasure speaking with you. And I know you probably had more tips, so you're welcome to come back and finish the 7-decade tips. Tips from 7 decades. We can bring another show up for that, because I feel like less and less people are really, like, it's so easy to Google and chat GPT your questions instead of speaking with people who have been around like 70 years and more, and like, what have y'all seen, what have y'all learned, especially now, like, you, from where you were born to where we are today, like, you've seen a lot of changes in our
society. I've got some stuff I want to put on people, and I know people are going to be in awe, because a lot of people today don't even know about segregation, or going to school in a segregated school, going to the school in a freedom of choice school where you can move over to the other school if you wanted, and then total integration with Black History Week.
Week, right. Yeah, we'll have to bring you back, because that kind of stuff is important.
I know.
So thank you again for choosing to hang out with us today, and definitely look forward to having you back.
Having my tea with Nikki.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. I hope you got some really good, like, practical life skill nuggets, things that aren't really taught in school. Well, they're not really taught in schools and stuff like that. It's stuff that you learn either through stumbling, or you have someone in your life who will point things out to you, which is very helpful. But I hope this episode has been definitely either a reminder, a confirmation, or new information that you can take and use in your life and share with others. So that said, thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. We will see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your now. Create the most amazing now moments until we see you again.
Take care.
I gotta find my mouse. I lost it. Oh, there it is. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Hope you enjoyed the show and got a lot of good information. Be sure to like, subscribe, tap the bell so you know when we air again. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Enjoy the rest of your week.